On baseball tonight, the rivalry begins. 19 regular season games. Cubs and Cardinals, who knows if they meet again in the postseason. They've been off to a flying start, amongst the best record in all of baseball, and one of the reasons the Cubs have had success is the former Cardinal Jason Hayward, who joined him for 8 years. Anthony Rizzo, part of the youth movement that appealed to Hayward in his move over there. Yadier Molina and the Cardinals not exactly being dismissed. The 3-time division champion ready to defend their turf. Baseball tonight's presented by Carrier.
Swinging a high fly ball, it's gone! Jorge Soler, well hit, left field, and gone! Chris Bryant, the 2-2 to Rizzo, forget about this one! Schwarber demolishes one. The 0-2, swing and a miss. The Chicago Cubs are moving on to the National League Championship Series.
Cubs the wild card last year. They then knocked the Cardinals out. The Cardinals have won this division 3 years running. Clowns to the left of me and jokers to the right. In fact, little guys on the right, Tim and I, and of course the major leaguers, Dallas Braden, and the tall Doug Glanville here. Welcome to the show. 1 hour to get you set for Cubs and the Cardinals, and this great sort of story to set the stage for you. So batting practice just a little while ago. Cubs are swinging it. The music in the stadium gets turned down, and then on the big screen, the reminders from the Cardinals of the recent divisions titles that they've won. So all the young Cubs are looking up thinking, 13, 14, 15. They won all those, didn't they? So they went silent there. So give us a reason why this might be the Cubs' year.
Well, I think you look at the depth. Obviously, you have to be excited, but look at the arm. Look at who they went and got. They brought in reinforcements. They've got Lackey now to add to the depth of adding a Lester behind an Arrieta. I mean, I think all signs point to yes as far as the Cubs in their favor is concerned.
Yeah, what's kind of surprising historically, you mentioned those 3 division titles by the Cardinals. They did a lot of it with just their arms. It didn't matter whether they had great hitting seasons or poor hitting seasons. They pitched their way out of everything. The Cubs right now are that team. They're 1 in quality starts. They're high in the ERA. Their bats are the fastest in baseball, the fewest pitches per plate appearance. Right. So they're in and out. They don't walk anybody. So right now they're pitching to the point where whatever their offense does, they're every night in a position to win.
And their lineup is really deep, even without Kyle Schwarber, who is going to be a big loss for them. But remember, they had the 3rd most strikeouts in Major League history last year and still won 97 games. But what they did in the offseason, they went and got a couple more guys who put it in play a little bit more often. Certainly Ben Zobrist does that. Their strikeout rate is lower, very small sample this year, and they're trying a few new things. One way or another, they're going to score a ton of runs this year because that lineup is so deep.
Rizzo has struggled a little bit here the past 7 games, but because of that depth, Fowler can be the hero one night, Bryant can be the hero another night, Addison Russell can certainly take you deep as well. Lackey's going to bat in the 9 spot. Sometimes Madden likes to move him into the 8th spot. To Tim's point, and Doug, philosophically, this is a difficult thing to do. For a swing and miss team, somehow early here in less than 10 games, they've not sort of gone by the route of strikeouts. How do you do that? How do you convince Doug Glanville not to swing and miss anymore?
Well, it's a philosophy, and you have to give Joe Madden a lot of credit. And because I talked to him a couple years ago about what about the strikeouts now, this generation of striking out and pitchers throwing 95 plus. A lot of that goes back to your 2-strike approach. And if you believe that it's important and a priority not to try to hit the ball out of the ballpark, but to move runners and get the ball in play, that's going to change everything. And they have that approach now, and certainly with those mature hitters like Zobrist, it becomes infectious because you see the value. And Zobrist can point to that Royals postseason and say, this is what contact does.
Yeah, the numbers on the screen there, 71 runs, 2nd in baseball, 2.42 ERA, 2nd in baseball. That's a good combination for winning.
Yeah, the Cubs have really played well so far. But tonight, this should be really great with them against the Cardinals. I can't wait to see what that atmosphere is going to be like at Busch, because we all know Cardinal fans are not real fond of Cub fans.
The old guard does not go quietly. Plus, this is one of those years going into it where the anti-establishment guy, if you want to be that guy tonight, can get on like enough with the Cubs stuff. Like, wait a second, we're the Cardinals, birds on the bat, we win. Uncle on the Cubs already. They haven't done anything yet.
Right, they haven't done anything, but they've definitely made a lot of noise and drawn a lot of attention to themselves, like some things we just talked about, the depth and the pitching staff. But the Cardinals, they are that old guard, and they've got guys like Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina to steer that ship, and they've got a lot of young deckhands who are ready to make a push as well. So I think you have to look at their future and think of how bright it is. They've got a guy like Yadi in the back, who we highlighted here, that can sort of help and give that tutelage to the young guys, like a Hazel Baker, like a Piscotti sandwiched in there between Wong. These are guys that they're going to rely on to continue to pass the baton like they've done so.
Yeah, you don't see Randall Grichuk's name. He's another one of those young guys that they hope can make a big contribution. But the Cardinals have generally been about pitching. We'll talk about Wainwright and his struggles in just a bit. But they have been able to, and look, Lance Lynn's out this year, not only replace guys position-wise, but pitchers keep showing up and pitching really well.
Right, and Mike Leake, who's pitching tonight, is the 5th starter on the Cardinals. That's a pretty deep rotation. Jaime Garcia threw a gem the other day, struck out 13 guys. When he's right, he is really difficult to deal with. But with that pitching, their offense right now is the leading scoring offense in the major leagues, and they do it in so many different ways. They've got 6 pinch hit home runs this year. The rest of Major League Baseball has 6 pinch hit home runs.
3 in one game?
Yeah, 3 in one game, which was a major league record. They've been hit by a pitch. I know this sounds like small stuff. Hit by a pitch 10 times. The Nationals hitters haven't been hit by a pitch at all yet. And the depth that they have with that outfield, whether it's Hazel Baker, whoever they put out there, seems to produce. Remember, this team won 100 games last year, scoring under 4 runs per game. Second team in the live ball era to do that. And now they lead the major leagues in runs scored.
It sounds like the title of a book. I'm fascinated by the hit by pitch. Don't you think that could be a big seller? Sack fly guy, we can go hit by pitch guy.
I love hit by pitches, I do.
This next man up theory that the Cardinals have been able to see happen year after year after year. To Tim's point, the 3 pinch hit home runs were all by guys that you wouldn't really know if you didn't really follow the Cardinals.
Right, and Eric Fryer's one of them. Look at this graphic here. First position player to start a season 6 for 6.
6 for 6.
Chris Steins. The last person to do it was a pitcher, Dontrell Willis, in 2004.
Athlete.
There are a lot of big league players, including Kyle Seager, really good hitter, who don't have 6 hits yet. Eric Fryer is 6 for 6. He's made 1 start this year, and he went 3 for 3 with 3 pinch hits, and he's 6 for 6. This is what the Cardinals do, and they do something like this every year.
And you can explain all theories, no matter if they have to do with baseball or the cosmos. You're good at that. So how do you explain somebody like Fryer or Diaz or anybody coming up and having success when the Seagers or even the Bryants in the beginning of the year, great players, don't have success? Why do they seem to do it?
I see great system. I see great system. The Cardinals are one of the most storied championship teams in baseball history, period. After the Yankees, it's the Cardinals. And their philosophy and their system works. So it's almost like a football team that has a system, and you just put any running back, and the guy gets 1,000
So,
yards.
and I heard Kurt on SportsCenter say they're the Patriots, meaning the Belichick way.
They have a way.
But Matheny hasn't been a consistent guy there because La Russa was there. Right. So where's the thread?
Right. Well, the system's higher than the manager. It's they have it from above, and it's in their development, it's in their recruiting, it's how they blend it all together. And keep in mind, this year, for example, we said, well, look, the Cardinals, Molina's questionable health coming in, they're missing their shortstop Peralta, their ace is coming back from a major injury. They're still filling in the blanks, and those guys are still contributing. So, this is what they've done consistently. You can't call it luck anymore.
Why not imitate? Why can't every franchise do it?
Well, for me, it's like, to touch on what Dougie, to piggyback, it's definitely the culture that has been spoon-fed down from La Russa to Matheny as a player, Matheny to Yadi as a player. Now, Matheny is in that dugout day in and day out. So you think they're not getting that same vibe as well? The Cardinals bring guys into the big leagues. I've said they don't bring them up to the big leagues. Most teams, it almost feels like an audition when you arrive. These guys, they're brought in and they're sat down and they're told, look, man, you're here for a reason. You've earned these stripes, and now we're going to continue to do the things that you need to do to continue to earn those stripes.
Diaz is the 4th shortstop for them since Johnny Peralta went down. Peralta was the shortstop, then Tejada was signed, Jerko was there, and now Diaz is the shortstop. Right. But 3 other guys either had to get hurt or lose the job somehow for him to be the productive player that he's been. Amazing, the depth they have.
No doubt about it. We'll come back. We'll talk much more about Cubs Cardinals. There was another the game that was played earlier today. We'll get to the highlights of the Blue Jays and the Red Sox. Matt Carpenter, just one of the best hitters in all of baseball. He's got a couple of home runs and 11 RBIs to lead the team this season. At one point, he was another one of those next guys up.
I think you saw it at its height last year when myself and Yadier Molina and Matt Holliday were all hurt. If you took that away from most teams, rightfully so, you'd have a big downturn in your win column. But the next man up, right?
You see just Grichuk and Piscotty and Pham and guys like that just come up and step up and have great at-bats. It was like those guys weren't even gone, just picking up the slack.
Tony La Russa hizo buen trabajo en eso, en prepararnos de esa forma. Y yo creo pues lo siguió haciendo, que cada persona que viene aquí cogió eso también, tú sabes, que ellos tienen que estar listos, que cuando uno se lesiona no lo vamos a extrañar. Va a venir el próximo y va a meter palo, o va a pichar mejor que el otro, y de verdad que no lo van a extrañar.
When Josh Atkins books at LaQuinta.com, he gets a Ready For You alert the second his room is ready. So you know what he gives?
I'll give you everything I've got and then some.
He gives 110%.
I'm confident this 10% can boost your market share. Feel me, Lois?
I'm feeling it.
Ready For You alert only at LQ.com.
Weeds. Nature's boomerang. At Roundup, we know they keep coming back. You never invited this stubborn little rascal to your patio, so draw the line. One spray of Roundup Max Control 365 kills to the root and keeps weeds away for up to 12 months, because patios should be for cooking out and kicking back. Roundup Max Control 365. Draw the line. Prevent weeds from coming back for up to 1 year.
Nothing unleashes power quite like the human foot. Introducing the 241 horsepower Lexus IS 200 Turbo with almost 20% more base horsepower. Once driven, there's no going back.
T-Mobile hit it out of the park. We doubled our LTE coverage to cover over 305 million Americans. And our new extended range LTE goes 2 times farther and works 4 times better in buildings than before. Switch to T-Mobile for major league coverage today.
Come on, Steve. It's not that hard of a game. That's so embarrassing.
Go easy on Steve. That was the club's fault. Trade in yours for some that'll make you want to practice more. At Golfsmith.
You killed my boy. God give it. God take it away.
I ain't afraid to die anymore. I done it already.
The Revenant. Own it on Blu-ray tomorrow.
Backed by popular demand, Outback Steak and Lobster starting at $14.99. For a limited time, we're searing up America's boldest steaks with classic steamed lobster or Old Bay butter lobster. Steak and lobster starting at just $14.99. It's dinner time at Outback.
Napoleon makes some of the most coveted grills. Maybe it's the restaurant quality sear from the 1800-degree sizzle zone, the heavenly aroma of the wood chip smoker tray, or all the other engineering details that make a Napoleon a Napoleon. What's really important is that you make one your own.
Hey, Pete. Yeah. You've got your own grill. You know, at your house. Good point.
Napoleon Grills. One day, you'll own the best.
I see you.
Ever since it's come out that Captain America and Iron Man are going up against each other, it's really divided the Sports Center anchors.
Hey, do you guys remember when Iron Man built that robot? Yeah. Wanted to destroy the world?
That was a dumb idea.
Iron Man did carry a giant nuclear bomb into space to save the planet, you know.
Baseball Tonight is presented by Carrier. Turn to the experts. And in part by Napoleon Grills. Own the best. Get that grill warmed up. Just throw a couple of burgers on there just to start.
Just to break it in.
Just to break it in. Burgers. You don't want to get into the other stuff. Just start slow. Like Bryant last year. Start slow and then become a superstar. Get into the brats. Maybe a little salmon on the grill.
Keep it hot.
Keep it hot.
I got a green egg for Christmas. Yeah.
Oh, you got the green egg. Yeah. Kirkshin's backyard, the greatest backyard on the planet, now has a green egg. Cubs, though, they have Bryant.
3-2 and a swing and a fly ball. Well hit. Left field and gone. Chris Bryant has sent Wrigley Field into a state of pandemonium.
That was definitely a series that I'm going to be able to remember forever, especially it being, you know, some of my first playoff games, especially against the Cardinals and in front of our home fans. It was just unbelievable. And, you know, when the wind's blowing out, Wrigley, we got to take advantage of it. And we definitely did those games, and it just made the atmosphere so much more fun and something that, you know, we definitely want to experience again.
There is a bit of an innocence about Bryant and about Rizzo, and one of the things that Jason Hayward said was he wanted to be part of a team that is really young and is going to be good for the foreseeable future. And the case in point is tonight's lineups, in fact. The youngest Cardinals, 25, and of course the Cubs have 3 guys that are 23 or younger. So the future in that way is bright. But really, Bryant is the future. He and Rizzo are the 2 guys, even with all due respect to Russell, that people will look at and think, he's going to be great.
Well, you remember all the noise surrounding him coming up,
a lot of noise,
the move with the front office, and, you know, all that behind him now. You see the impact he had not only in that lineup, but in that clubhouse, in that city as well. And you surround him with the other guys you just mentioned, Ravi. These kids are going to be good for 20 years.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Not just the foreseeable future. And he is definitely an icon in that city already, a cornerstone in that organization.
Did either of you guys have a billboard that said worth the wait when you showed up?
No, there was a tombstone when I showed up, actually. And I think part of the problem, you know...
Doug Glanville here all week.
1996 was when I came up. Different climate. You know, the expectation right out of the gate that these guys are ready, they can perform, and they're put in a situation to be successful. There's so much future forward, and there's so much behind them coming. That's the great balance of what the Chicago Cubs have.
And we saw the Cubs on opening night, the 3 of us, and Joe Madden made a point to say how much better a hitter Chris Bryant is right now than he was last year when he won the Rookie of the Year, had a tremendous year. 2-strike approach, the whole thing. Plus, he's so much more relaxed than he was certainly at this time last year. He is so great to be around, so enjoyable, and the numbers are just, yeah, he came up on this date last year, and you compare to Ernie Banks, for instance, and look where Ernie Banks ended up.
Throw out Ernie Banks.
Right, of course. Only maybe the greatest Cub ever. But I was really struck this spring by how relaxed Bryant was when he's talking about Rizzo, his best friend. Rizzo is playing the piano. And I said, well, is he any good? And Bryant goes, no, he's terrible at it. And he's told me, we're going to start a band, dude. And Bryant goes, no, we're not. Plus, he went swimming with the Sharks this winter, Bryant did.
Oh, my gosh.
And I said, well, how did that go? And he goes, well, I got seasick on the boat. The only reason I went into the shark tank down underneath is so I wouldn't get seasick. And then I got more seasick in the shark tank. So he came back up and he said, please, just take me back to land.
Isn't that a contractual violation of some sort?
Probably is.
But they violate contracts all the time because they have animals running through their club.
Don't feed the apex predator.
Rizzo told us a story about the bear that doesn't just poop in the woods, it pooped on him. They had the bear, and it went to the bathroom on him. The part about them that I think is at least refreshing is they wear the shirt that Madden came up with, which is try not to suck. Like, they recognize this is a hard game. There will be failures, and they don't seem to get too high or too low.
Well, and there's so much to be said for being comfortable in your own skin, as you pointed out, Timmy. And Doug, you can speak to this as well as a position player way more than I can. Every day you're out there, and every day you have an opportunity to sort of build on yesterday or get past yesterday. And when you don't have the pressure of trying to make the team, if you will, every at-bat, every ground ball, you're able to sort of grow within your own skin. And growing at the big league level is something very difficult to do, and he's been allowed to do so, but it's a different type of growth.
Right. Trying not to suck every time we see him, of course, is Curt Schilling. He's part of that broadcast crew tonight with Eduardo Perez and Dave Fleming. Dave?
Yeah, I don't know if that's our theme for the year as a broadcast crew, but we're excited to be here on this Monday night. Early season baseball, but they're expecting a sellout. A lot of anticipation for an April regular season game. Cubs and Cardinals meet for the first time here in 2016, and of course throughout most of the history of this long rivalry. The Cubs have struggled. The last time they won the World Series, you got to go a long way back, 1908. I think every baseball fan knows this. 1945, the last time they even played in the World Series. Is this the year? A lot of people think it is. The expectations for 2016 after last year's 97-win season, the playoff series victory against the Cardinals, and then all the offseason additions. Jason Hayward from the Cardinals to the Cubs with all of his great defense and his offense as well. Ben Zobrist, who Joe Madden has known for a long time. Mr. Versatility, playing second base this year, but he can help the Cubs in a lot of different ways. We just heard the guys talking about Chris Bryant, Rookie of the Year, budding superstar at third base for this Cubs team. So you add all that up, and that's part of the reason why the expectations are so high. And I think, guys, that it changes the feel. This is a regular season game in April, but it has a different feeling. And I think it's because the dynamic between the Cubs and the Cardinals is so different with those expectations.
Well, yeah, unlike pineapple on pizza, the Cubs don't suck. They are going to be amazing. This is Theo's 5th year in the franchise, and for me to be right, I said they'd be in a World Series within 5 years of him coming here, and I think it's not just a direct result of Theo. I think it's a direct result of the ownership backing away and letting baseball people do the baseball things. You look no farther than St. Louis for probably the best organization producing young talent in the world. The Cubs, via the draft, which is what Theo has done, they built up an incredible farm system, and Kyle Schwarber goes down, which would be a huge loss. It's a big loss no matter what. But they won't miss a beat. They've got David Ross in that clubhouse. They've got Joe Madden managing, 2 guys that can lead, 2 guys that have the respect of everybody in that uniform. I think they're in for a nice 5-10-year run starting this year.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Cardinals' success developing players. They've developed players in the minor leagues who've come up and helped them at the big league level. In the last decade, the dominance of this St. Louis organization, 2 World Series championships, but not just that for Tony La Russa and now Mike Matheny, 5 Central titles. They've won the last 3. 3 times they've won the pennant. So we're talking about a decade where the Cardinals have been the most consistent power in either league, 5 straight years going to the playoffs. Best record in the National League by far over that time. Almost every year they have dominated their rival, the Cubs. Yadier Molina has been a big part of that, and he's back and healthy now. 8-time Gold Glove winner, kind of the bedrock of this Cardinals organization. And I think, Eduardo, for St. Louis, they're taking these Cubs expectations a little bit personally. I mean, I think a lot of folks around here, fans especially, say, well, let's see them beat us, and then we'll talk about them as a budding dynasty.
Right, and you listen to Kurt talk about the Cubs and their future and how it's going to be. Well, that's how it's been here in St. Louis. They've had consistency from Mike Matheny behind the plate, then transitioning to Yadier Molina, and then the pitching staff really paying attention to their leader. Their leader has always been behind the plate. That's been Yadi. Superstars have come, have gone, and they continue to win ball games, and they do it with their farm system, which is really, really cool. You look right now, there's 3 guys. There's Diaz at shortstop, Hazel Baker that's going to be playing in the outfield today, and then a kid by the name of Fryer behind the plate. They're raking. All 3 combined 451. The rest of the team is hitting 242. We're looking at names that aren't superstars, but they're doing the job early, and they're helping this team and the pitching staff win ball games.
Seems to happen every year with the Cardinals, and it's part of why the expectation for this game here tonight seems to be so high. The fans here are ready, including some Cubs fans who've come to Busch Stadium. 8 o'clock Eastern, first pitch time right here on ESPN. And Carl, we hope we lived up to our motto for the year. Back to you.
The 2 of you did. There's no doubt about it. And this is the pineapple that is being now taken out of the teeth of Dallas Braden that he put on top of his pizza, which, as he said, did not, in fact, suck. It was really good. So he's enjoying that now. Are you a pineapple on pizza guy?
Yes, I am.
You are too.
Chicago, yeah.
Anything on a pizza except for anchovies for me.
No, I am not. There's no way pineapple belongs on a pizza, which scares me that I agree with Schilling on that. But we'll digress. We'll come back, and we'll talk more about baseball. What is up with Adam Wainwright? What's up with John Lester's ability to throw the ball to first base? What are these questions? We got to answer them when we come back.
Nosotros vamos a hacer el trabajo que nosotros sabemos hacer, que es tratar de ganar día a día. Los Cos tienen buen equipo, tienen un buen manager, los Piratas también. La división está muy fuerte, obviamente cada equipo, cada división tiene un equipazo. Nosotros pues tenemos que prepararnos no solamente para los Cos, sino para todos los equipos, y lo estamos haciendo.
Before the Snow White story, you know, 2 queens were the closest of sisters.
You are my weakness.
Until one's betrayal.
What did you do?
Began a war.
I'm stronger than you.
Shall we find out?
You shall kneel before me. Prepare the huntsman for war. Are you ready?
The Huntsman, Winter's War, rated PG-13.
From the first pitch to the final swing, we are a team. The most valuable player doesn't always wear a uniform.
Thank you.
Everyone has a position. Everyone makes a difference. And nothing brings communities together like Little League.
Take on the unexpected. The new 2016 Nissan Altima, built to stand out.
Coming soon from Progressive, it's Saving You, the new hit single from the Discounts. The Discounts. Safe driver, paperless, paid in full, multi-car, and Joey Fatone.
We have auto-tune, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's a hit!
Wendy's Jalapeno Fresco Spicy Chicken. The sandwich that almost wasn't. Because with ghost pepper sauce, fresh jalapenos, pepper jack cheese, and a red jalapeno bun, focus group said,
Nobody will want a sandwich this spicy, right?
but focus groups have been wrong before.
Nobody will want a camera that makes phone calls, right?
So Wendy's thanked them and launched it anyway, and even doubled down with ghost pepper fries. So if you're hot for spice, I love it, then these are for you.
You gotta believe in something. Every man on a mission.
Bring it home. Back to back.
Every city in a frenzy. Tell me that you believe. The NBA playoffs continue Friday on ESPN and ESPN2.
Just press clean and let Roomba help with your everyday messes. A full suite of sensors automatically guides Roomba throughout your home, cleaning under furniture, along edges, and in corners. And with its powerful 3-stage cleaning system, Roomba picks up pet hair, dust, and debris for up to 2 hours, recharging itself when it needs to, which means your floors are always clean. You and Roomba from iRobot. Better together.
What's up with the helmet?
Just got my car insured with the General. Got the coverage I wanted and lower payments.
It's when I can make my payment. That's what's important to me. At the General, I picked the payment due date that was close to when I get paid.
Affordable car insurance with full coverage, low payments, great discounts, and a choice of due date. Get your anonymous online quote now.
For a great low rate you can get online, go to the General and save some time.
You're watching baseball tonight. It's presented by Carrier. The Panda Bear. There has not been a panda sighting in Boston for a while. Sandoval DL, and today the big fella got a cortisone shot in his shoulder. He's been placed on the 15-day DL. There was some irritation, some swelling, and now the cortisone shot for Pablo Sandoval. Travis Shaw has been playing third base and been playing very well, hitting the ball very well. Red Sox, Blue Jays, Fenway Park, and of course, the day game, the Boston Marathon. Jeff Bowman, a marathon bombing survivor, threw out the first pitch with Jake Gyllenhaal, who's playing Bowman in an upcoming movie. Bowman throws a strike to Hanley. The crowd's into it. And, of course, an emotional day for a variety of reasons with the marathon starting in Hopkinton, Mass. Boston up 1-0. We'll go to the 8th. Koji Uehara pitching for the Red Sox, and Kevin Pillar. Josh Rutledge threw that thing way, way high. That was off the glove of Shaw, who's playing first today. Pillar goes to second, and the smoke show is just beginning, because that's Justin Smoke at the plate.
Right. And Koji, impeccable control normally, not today.
Think the 8th or 9th inning thing has something to do with it with Koji? He was the closer. He's now an 8th inning guy.
Always impacts the mindset.
Runners go to second and third as that one goes through. Saunders still at the plate, and Xander Bogaerts, look out, lobs one over to first. Pilar scores, one down. Now it's 1-1. Josh Donaldson, he's at the plate. Look out, Koji hits him.
Just had a tough time finding that release point with the split the entire inning.
And about the worst guy to have come up is that guy, Jose Bautista, and he walks him.
Usually he gets the hitter by teasing it out of the zone, but he was missing by so much it wasn't even tempting.
Second time that Craig Kimbrell in his career has been brought in with the bases loaded. He strikes out Encarnacion, and it looks like he might get out of it. And instead, he walks Tulowitzki. That's the first bases-loaded walk of Kimbrell's career.
96, but it's a 2-1 Blue Jay lead. Next batter, full count. Russell Martin smokes one into right. That's good to get down. Donaldson and Bautista score. And all of a sudden, the Red Sox have seen their bullpen blow it. It's now 4-1. But just like that, it's a 4-3 ball game. David Ortiz is kind of looming. Drew Storen is pitching with 2 down. And here's that big hit from Travis Shaw that goes for an RBI double. They're within a run at 4-2.
Yeah, high compliment from David Ortiz when we did the game last week. He believes that Travis Shaw is going to be one of the best hitters on this team in the future.
Yeah, and there's somebody who sort of came out of nowhere. Not Ortiz, but Shaw. Hanley Ramirez has to get on base for Ortiz to bat. And he will. A base hit up the middle. It's a 1-run game. And Ortiz, who's been really good already this year, has a chance on Patriots Day to deliver. But he doesn't. Storen hits the top of the strike zone.
All right, Roberto Osuna has a bit of a fingernail. That's why Storen was closing today.
That's like a bit of a fingernail issue.
Injury, right.
An inch.
Sorry.
An inch. Blue Jays beat the Red Sox 4-3. Struggles of the bullpen, the story in this one. You see Uehara's numbers. You saw Kimbrell. And here's what Kimbrell had to say about that key at bat that he was involved in.
3 runners on, you don't want to lay one right down the middle and let them hit it as far as you can. You know, still got to try to go after them and make a good pitch. It's just unfortunate and I didn't do it. I didn't feel like it was the time to throw a breaking ball, especially throw a breaking ball and throw it for a ball. You'd be kicking myself. So I just kept attacking. He kept fighting it off, and he got a pitch he could just go with and drive runs in, and that's what happened.
So you stick with the AL East, and we've seen the Yankees, who had Betances and Miller, went out and got Chapman. Now, the Red Sox for years had had a really good 8th and 9th inning with Tazawa and Uehara, and they went out and got Kimbrell. So this was a perceived strength. Is it only a matter of time? Because right now, it's not acting that way.
It is a matter of time. You talking as Timmy, we talked about the role reversal or the switch up. Yeah. You know, Uehara making appearances in the 8th inning, not used to that. He's got a lot of things that he needs to start to get under control. But Kimbrell, they bring in, and there has to be an understanding that this 9th inning belongs to this man, and you two gentlemen, your job is to get it to this man. So it's just a matter of time before these wrinkles start to iron themselves out, and it's a matter of getting the routine solid underneath themselves, and they'll be good to go.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason for concern. I mean, this is early in the season. Yeah. It's a new setup, and there's no question that their bullpen is going to be a strength. And look, this is the way teams are built now, to get through the Royals, to get through the Yankees, teams in their division. A lot of them are built for the 7th, 8th, and 9th. They're built very well, and they have the offense to back it up.
You've talked to everybody in baseball. You've talked to closers. You've talked to guys that pitched in the 9th, that then pitched in the 8th, and there are people at home who are thinking, are you kidding me? What's the difference? If you did it in the 9th, why can't you do it in the 8th? What is the answers you get to those questions?
Well, I'm with these guys. When you've been the closer before, and now you're not the closer anymore, you consider that a step down. I'm not saying that's the case with Uehara. I am saying when Eric Gagne came to the Red Sox, remember that?
Yeah, sure.
He was the 9th inning guy, one of the great closers for a short period. They told him to pitch the 8th inning, and he was terrible. How could he go from a really good closer to a terrible 8th inning guy? In some cases, you say, well, I'm not the closer anymore, and something happens. I can't explain it, but that's how it works. I also can't explain David Ortiz taking a called 3rd strike today, just to show you how unusual that was. That's the 37th time that Ortiz has come to the plate, 2 outs in a walk-off situation, and the first time he's ever been struck out looking in a situation like that. And he didn't think it was a strike either.
Right. He thought it was up here.
Yeah.
It was in the box.
It's a pitcher's pitch.
Sure was. Lost in this, the Blue Jays got a win, and they played really well here at Fenway Park. But for the Red Sox, Clay Buchholz actually pitched a good game. His first start, people were watching what he was doing and thinking Here they go again. There's been no change. Today was a little different. What did you guys see from him today?
Well, what I saw out of Clay today was he was getting ahead, but his ability to work out of jams, his ability to keep the ball on the ground, especially with runners on. We take a look. This is what he was doing. You got the ball down in the zone to Martin, sinker down and in. He's able to get the 2 ball, 2 for 1. Again, Joe Batts, one of the 3 double plays he rolled into today, but you take a look at that line in the middle of the zone there. He's working below the zone here. He's working down in the lower half of the zone. He's getting guys out on the outer part of the plate. He's able to expand. You see a fastball he got away with down the middle there, but still able to get the ball on the ground. Hard to hit a homer on the ground, and that's what Buchholz was able to do today, keep these guys off balance and keep them down.
Quickly, as a pitcher, you take a look at the numbers, but there were 2 pitches there, one to Bautista, the other one you said he got away with. Do you find when you pitched that there were pitches that you recognized, like, I won a game today and I got away with a lot?
Oh, absolutely. You throw a pitch and you just know that the gentleman standing at home plate was looking for something else, because 84 and flat had him fooled. He didn't even move. That was not because I was nasty. It was because he just guessed wrong that time.
Right, so 5 GIDPs for the Blue Jays today, and they won. The last 4 teams that have grounded into 5 double plays in a game have won the game. And 7 of the last 8. Please, explain that to me. This is baseball, no explanation.
Right. And I guess the reason that you focus on Buchholz, because they have price, and then there were a lot of question marks.
Right.
Did this satisfy any sort of thought in your mind, like they're okay?
Well, no, I mean, look, Buchholz is an enigma.
No.
I mean, he's a puzzle, right?
Yeah.
That's how he is. Super talented, many pitches in his repertoire. He could have the best first half of all time, and then he could struggle. And a lot of it could be health related. I mean, he's really never thrown. He's thrown 170 innings or more like 2 or 3 times in his career, and most of the time he's thrown 110 innings. He's had problems consistently. They need him as like a bridge to the back of the bullpen and to the back of that rotation. Right. You're never sure if you're going to get it, but the talent is 100% there.
We've seen it. Got the no-hitter on the resume. We saw that early in his career, so that's Buchholz. All right, let's get some updates. One of the great stories in baseball will be, if he can stay on the field, David Wright, because we know all about his struggles with stenosis in the back, and he has shown the ability, A, to get on base, but here's some of that power the other way.
Who's hungry? Oppo Tacos!
Jose Fernandez, Bryce Harper, homered in 4 straight games. That was 94. Bryce hits that for...
I mean, what's amazing to Harper is he kind of steps in the bucket. He steps open to first base, but still has power the other way.
Fernandez struck out 13 in 1 game already. Miami's got a 1-0 lead, and Marcell Ozuna goes to left. It's Marlins up 3-0. We'll see if Fernandez can hang on here as this game is just underway. And, of course, we'll give you the updates throughout the course of the night. Remind everybody the best seats at every ballpark for every game. Visit MLB.com/tickets today.
And the Cubs have the lead again.
Winning anywhere you are is special, especially to be here and see everything kind of start from the bottom up and be on a team that lost 100 games and win 100 games if you include the playoffs last year. How we've come full circle, and we're not content. We're really happy with where we're at, but we want to keep getting better.
How would Steph and the Warriors stack up with Jordan and the Bulls?
You know what? The greatest team to ever play the game was the Harlem Globetrotters.
The Harlem Globetrotters?
What about Fred Curly Neal, Sweet Lou Dunbar, Meadowlark Lemon? What about that Scott Van Pelt?
T-Mobile hit it out of the park. We doubled our LTE coverage to cover over 305 million Americans. And our new extended range LTE goes 2 times farther and works 4 times better in buildings than before. Switch to T-Mobile for major league coverage today.
When I have an idea brewing, anything is possible. You start where it all began. You think about where you've been. You decide where you're going. You consider the flavors. And then you bring them together to create something new. There's inspiration all around. You just need to know how to see it. Blue Moon, artfully brewed with Valencia orange peel and a touch of coriander. Something's brewing.
When Josh Atkins books at LaQuinta.com, he gets a ready-for-you alert the second his room is ready. So you know what he gives?
I'll give you everything I've got, and then some.
He gives 110%.
I'm confident this 10% can boost your market share. Feel me, Lois?
I'm feeling it.
Ready-for-you alert only at LQ.com.
When you have a digital notebook to capture investing ideas that instantly gives you stock prices, earnings, and dividends, an equity summary score that consolidates the stock ratings of top analysts into a single score, and $7.95 online U.S. equity trades, lower than TD Ameritrade, Schwab, and E-Trade, you realize the smartest investing idea isn't just what you invest in, but who you invest with.
I've got you in my sights. We shall see.
Overwatch. Play the free open beta on PC and console May 5th. Rated Teen.
T-Mobile hit it out of the park. We doubled our LTE coverage to cover over 305 million Americans. And our new extended range LTE goes 2 times farther and works 4 times better in buildings than before. Switch to T-Mobile for major league coverage today.
This is David Price of the Boston Red Sox. And this is Astro, his dog. When your best buddy is a Cy Young winning all-star heat-throwing lefty.
Ready? Go get it.
And you're a 9-year-old 30-pound French bulldog. At a certain point, you got to put your paw down, because maybe catch is not our game. Maybe you just want to snuggle, you know?
All right, you're watching Baseball Tonight. A reminder that Scott's Pitch, Hit, and Run, the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball, free for boys and girls 7 to 14. Play your way to the national finals. Have the chance to compete during All-Star Week in San Diego. Find a local competition in your area at pitchhitrun.com. In an effort to make Dallas as uncomfortable as possible on the mound, we've all been like A-Rod running right in front of him.
He was that close to you, Dallas?
He might have been closer. I could smell his breath.
You were walking that way, and he ran right in front of you.
I was walking back up to the rubber. Here he comes.
Yeah.
Like I said, I could smell the tuna sandwich. And
get off of my cloud.
I knew we were too close.
We'll get to that in another show. Meantime, we're here to discuss Adam Wainwright. We just went over the Clay Buchholz impact on the Red Sox, which could be significant. Clearly, Adam Wainwright has got to be good for the Cardinals to reach the levels that they believe they're capable of. Just not Adam Wainwright in 3 starts this season. And he's having a real hard time explaining it, but he does say, just be patient, I'll right the ship, if you will.
Sure, hold on, relax. We've heard that before, and we're so used to seeing him execute in, out, up, down, expanding, all the alike. So when we start to see Waino struggle like we're seeing, we tend to start to overanalyze or wonder what could be going on. Well, we take a look at the tape, and for me, it's quite simple at this point in time. He's over the heart of the plate, and he's up in the zone. And that is not the MO of Waino, not at all, has never been. He's been a guy who's able to expand the strike zone with that big curveball. He's got good life on the fastball, but right now the fastball is flat. It's in the upper part of the zone. And you see the curveball there. It doesn't have that big old Uncle Charles type downward bite we're used to seeing from him. It sort of spins, and it's flat up in the zone. These hitters are now seeing the bottom half of the baseball instead of the top half, and they've got watermelons up there to take hacks at. And that's just not what we're used to seeing from Wainwright. He gets ahead early and often, and he pounds down in the zone. And that heat map right there will tell you the story.
On the left is 2015 when he was down a lot more. On the right, 2016. He's elevated. Now, people might suggest this has to do with the injury. He's coming off that torn left Achilles. As a pitcher, is there anything, and in this case it would be your right, your hand leg?
What it is for Waino, it's his plant leg, and now you're talking about a strong front side, and you have to have a strong front side in order to be able to finish a pitch out in front, and they talk about finishing over your front side. And you've got that Achilles there, and you might find yourself at times spinning out because you just can't stabilize and you're just not able to create that downward angle that we're used to seeing.
I don't
from
want
him.
to suggest that's the reason, but I'm sure there are people who are saying, well, he's still getting over the injury.
Absolutely. He's knocking off rust, and we're not the only ones to look at video, and trust me, this is not rocket science we're doing here. He sees the ball in the middle of the zone just like we do. So that question you just asked could be a question that doesn't get answered here on the show, but hey, is there something going on in that Achilles? We never know.
Can you make it rocket science as our rocket scientist?
I cannot, but I can think that movement is also part of the equation. The location is part of it, but as a hitter with Wainwright, you're uncomfortable because he can go in and out with movement in either direction. And a lot of that movement has been a little flat thus far, and so it's starting off where he wants it, but it's not moving out of the zone and staying in that heart. So I think he'll get that, but that's going to just sort of get back to that consistently. It is April.
Right, and he topped out at 94 the other day. That's a really good sign that the velocity is still there. But he also said, I've made more mistakes as a pitcher already this year than I've made in entire seasons. Speaking to you, just missing his location.
Yeah, and he talked about it earlier when we saw in the video, you know, I'm not right. Trust me. I've been going back to the drawing board trying to figure it out. So this is not a guy who's lost out there by any means. It's a matter of fine-tuning his excellence.
All right, let's get some fish sticks. John Fisher, of course, our researcher, has got a little stick for us. Go ahead, Fish.
Dallas, you mentioned the first pitch. Wainwright getting ahead. Hitters are 12 for 17 with 7 doubles against him on the first pitch. That's a 706 batting average, 11-18 slugging percentage. So it's not working right now.
That's a lot of early base runners.
Yep. That's Fish. Bringing something to the table.
Right. And the hitters know, let's jump on the first pitch because he's throwing a strike.
Well, yeah, and he's got the secondary repertoire, as Dougie talked about, cutting you up, and he's creating intersections on both sides of the plate, the inside half, the outside half. You can't get comfortable, so you want to go up there and get off on one of the first straight ones you see.
Right. And isn't this also good for the Cardinals rotation? We see this every year.
Last year.
Yeah,
we got it last
Carpenter,
year.
Wainwright, just go down the list. Every year, someone goes down, an ace goes down.
Right.
The rest of the rotation has to step it up. And that is exactly what creates that sort of postseason team mentality of the Cardinals. So they're going to
say they couldn't win without him, so they need him to achieve their ultimate goal. Which is to get to the World Series.
I feel you.
Which is where the Cubs hope they end up this year, and perhaps they'll have pitchers who are bouncing balls to first base. John Lester yesterday was the pitcher and said, tough one, but felt good out there. And then he said, bummed, or he tweeted, I didn't get a web gem for my throw to first. Now, between Fish and everyone else that works on the show, we are constantly scouring every game for web gems. I don't think anybody ever considered this to be even nominated worthy.
Close.
I felt like he did a great job of getting off the mound. You know, he just maybe took a miss, didn't get his feet underneath him, and then he started playing whack-a-mole with the baseball. I don't know what was going on.
The best thing he did was pick the ball up barehanded, running as fast as he was running, and yet then he spiked it. There's nothing attractive about that throw. That's troubling.
That's a bounce pass like Steve Nash. I think it looked like he threw it in the grass on purpose, much like a old shortstop on AstroTurf would bounce it across the field. I've just never seen
That's so
pitcher
awkward.
spike it on purpose, and miraculously, he gets Brandon Barnes at first.
I think it still is a web gem. It just goes to Anthony Rizzo. And the fact that he saw that ball through the legs of the runner, he set up Rizzo for a web gem, so he gets partial credit.
If you found yourself picking a ball up and throwing it that way, what would you think about yourself?
I wouldn't think much of myself. I'd be praying that I had John Lester's hardware because I wouldn't worry about getting guys out at first because I'd get them out at the plate.
And give Lester a bunch of credit for at least recognizing that there is fun in baseball. He made the play. Good job, John Lester. #NeverQuit. We'll continue here on Baseball Tonight as we head to break. I want to remind everybody that Baseball Tonight is brought to you by Walt Disney World Resort. Unforgettable happens here. Visit ESPN.com/unforgettable and enter for a chance to win a Walt Disney World vacation. A lot of talk about Lackey. What about Mike Leake? He's on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals. 2 starts this season, a fairly high ERA. He's the type of bulldog, though, that gets down and dirty and loves the idea that he is facing the Cubs.
Single digit on a pitcher. Still looks weird to me.
It's 8.
Number 8.
There are moments that bring us closer, that fill our souls. And when we live them all as a family, we make history. Walt Disney World, unforgettable happens here. Book for $1,880 for a 4-night, 4-day summer vacation package at a select Disney's All-Star Resort with theme park tickets for families of 4.
Come on, Steve. It's not that hard of a game. It's so embarrassing.
Go easy on Steve, Steve. That was the club's fault. Trade in yours for some that'll make you want to practice more. At Golfsmith.
Weeds. Nature's boomerang. At Roundup, we know they keep coming back. You never invited this stubborn little rascal to your patio, so draw the line. One spray of Roundup Max Control 365 kills to the root and keeps weeds away for up to 12 months. Because patios should be for cooking out and kicking back. Roundup Max Control 365. Draw the line. Prevent weeds from coming back for up to 1 year.
Here's how it feels to get a new iPhone every year with iPhone Forever from Sprint. Here's how it feels to get 50% off most national carrier rates, too. So imagine how you'll feel when you get all this and 50% off iPhone 6s on the fastest network.
I could get used to this.
Now you can with the luxuriously transformed 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid.
We're redefining and reimagining what it means to deliver. Because to us, why deliver when you can over-deliver? So we've engineered a car with a warming oven heated up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Introducing the 2016 Domino's DXP. Order 2 medium 2-topping pizzas for $5.99 each and learn more about the DXP at Domino's.com.
I ain't afraid to die anymore. I've done it already. You have to fight as long as you got a breath in you.
The Revenant. Own it on Blu-ray tomorrow.
You gotta believe in something. Every man on a mission.
Bring it home.
Back to back.
Every city in a frenzy. Tell me that you believe. The NBA playoffs continue Friday on ESPN and ESPN2.
Ragu users chose Prego Home-Style Alfredo over Ragu Classic Alfredo.
Prego Alfredo. Why can't everything I try be this great?
Choose taste. Choose Prego. Even Ragu users chose Prego Traditional over Ragu Traditional.
Prego? But I buy Ragu. I wonder what other questionable choices I've made.
Choose taste. Choose Prego.
You know that feeling you get when you save money on parts without having to jump through any hoops, track points, or make a bunch of extra trips to the store? Yeah, that's the one. Introducing Speed Perks from Advance Auto Parts, a rewards program for guys who love getting under the hood. No cards, no points, no nonsense.
You're watching Baseball Tonight, presented by Carrier.
When you look at the way the team's set up, I have an opportunity to play with this group for the majority of my contract. It's important when you're trying to win a championship, I feel like. And while I had great offers from every team, best situation for myself, I would choose a group that I would have an opportunity to give my best shot.
It didn't sit exactly really well on the banks of there in the Missouri with St. Louis when he left and went to Chicago. $184 million for 8 years. There's a lot of reasons that he did it beyond that, and you do understand it, but that doesn't mean it goes well when you go within the division to play for the rival that you assume you're going to butt heads with, along with Pittsburgh, for the next 5 to 10 years.
Right. The people in St. Louis do take it personally when a player wants to leave like that. I mean, when Mark McGwire and
Albert Pujols,
Matt Holliday showed up, they signed immediately, hey, I want to stay here. Right. Then Albert left, and now a couple others have gone to the arch rival. Again, they're sensitive in St. Louis to this because they love their Cardinals that much.
And the players, too. Having been there at spring training with some of the players, you did get the impression, well, maybe they weren't going to come right out and say, like, we look forward to beating the guy that left us. Wainwright, what it comes down to is this: he didn't want to play there after myself and Yachty and Matt were gone on such a long contract. It really comes down to a personality trait to me. All right, let's get our personality expert, Dallas Braden, in on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that it's a. This is how I look at it. It's a businessman, and Jay Hay is a businessman.
He needs to be a guy that wants to be the person, the guy that carries the torch. So perhaps he's suggesting that he is a role guy, not a leader guy. I'm just reading his words. We're looking for that guy who wants to be the man.
The man. Well, I mean, I would say this. It's very rare, very rare that you are in a position as a young player to get an 8-year contract in any sport. I mean, that is a rare thing. You have to make a decision for your entire future. He gets out of this contract, he's 35 years old. All right, so he's trying to pick where he wants to be because he has that choice, which is rare in baseball, and figure out a way to find a home. You know, that's what he chose, and that's completely reasonable.
The cynic will say, well, he could have done that in 4 years in St. Louis and been set for the rest of his life.
Right. Well, 8 years is not 4.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, it'd be Christmas every day.
And that's Dallas Braden dropping that on us. You knew that. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts.
Yes, I got that one. The rest of the vocabulary I don't get.
Right. John Lackey getting set to throw for the Chicago Cubs. It's the Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals. Early season showdown that is Dave Fleming, Kurt Schilling, and Eduardo Perez get set to call. Will have a bit of an October feel to it. First pitch is coming up in about 13 minutes. It's next here on ESPN as Baseball Tonight continues.
When Josh Atkins books at LaQuinta.com, he gets a ready for you alert the second his room is ready. So you know what he gives?
I'll give you everything I've got and then some.
He gives 110%.
I'm confident this 10% can boost your market share. Feel me, Lois?
I'm feeling it.
Ready for you alert only at LQ.com.
T-Mobile hit it out of the park. We doubled our LTE coverage to cover over 305 million Americans. And our new extended range LTE goes 2 times farther and works 4 times better in buildings than before. Switch to T-Mobile for major league coverage today.
Isn't this fun, living like the pioneers of olden times? I hate the outside. Well, I hate it wherever you are. Burn. Burn. Is that what the kids are saying now? I'm so bored, I'm dead. You can always compare rates on Progressive.com. Oh, that's nice, dear. But could you compare camping trips? Because this one would win. All I want to do is enjoy nature and peace and quiet. It's not about winning. It's about helping people find a great rate, even if it's not with Progressive. Ugh, insurance. When I said peace and quiet, did you hear talk more and disappoint me? Do-do-do-do. Skiddly-do-do. Camping with my family.
Discover the story before Snow White.
With the mirror's dark magic, I'll rule the world.
The only one powerful enough to defeat her is her sister, the Frozen Queen.
The game's not finished. This is what I trained you for.
Are you ready?
Don't miss.
I never miss.
The Huntsman, Winter's War, rated PG-13.
We set out to create a minivan with the most unique exterior styling, smart technology at your fingertips, and a cabin that's as comfortable as it is versatile. But what about safety? The Kia Sedona is an IIHS top safety pick, something the Toyota Sienna can't claim. Sedona, the minivan that has it all. Lease the Sedona LX for only $279 a month.
Wendy's Jalapeno Fresco Spicy Chicken. The sandwich that almost wasn't. Because with ghost pepper sauce, fresh jalapenos, pepper jack cheese, and a red jalapeno bun, focus group said,
Nobody will want a sandwich this spicy, right?
but focus groups have been wrong before.
Nobody will want a camera that makes phone calls, right?
So Wendy's thanked them and launched it anyway, and even doubled down with ghost pepper fries. So if you're hot for spice, I love it, then these are for you.
Celebrating its 20th anniversary, Scott's MLB Pitch, Hit, and Run is the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Get your community involved by hosting a local competition. Sign up for free to host at pitchhitrun.com.
Shivers running up and down my spine. Got me
catch a memory you'll never release.
I got one.
Show us your first catch. Learn more at takemefishing.org.
He's beautiful.
Baseball Tonight presented by Carrier. Turn to the experts to depart by the all-new 2017 Sportage from Kia, crafted for the urban pioneer. Now the catch of the week. It's brought to you by Take Me Fishing.
Shallow center. Kane coming in. Escobar! Chance for two. No way! Wow!
No, we want to let it breathe. We don't have anything that we can say that's going to be better than the call of that game. That's how I see this, Escobar. Just let it breathe.
Let it breathe. Tip the cap.
Wow. Good tip.
Beautiful work. I mean, Royals are going to be back at it again.
Dougie felt like he was forced to say something there. Do you have anything to say?
Great D for the Royals.
Great D for the Royals. Enjoy the game. We'll get you updates throughout the course of the night. Thanks for watching Baseball Tonight. It's the Cubs and the Cardinals.
Well, welcome to Monday Night Baseball on ESPN, presented by USAA. It's a beautiful summer-like night here in St. Louis at the footsteps of the Gateway Arch. Two of the oldest rivals in professional sports. They've been playing for 124 years. And tonight, the first meeting in 2016 between the Cubs and the Cardinals. Last time they played head-to-head, it was last October in the Division Series.
Swinging a high fly ball. It's gone! Jorge Soler. Well hit. Left field. And gone! Chris Bryant. The 2-2 to Rizzo. Forget about this one. Schwarber demolishes one. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. The Chicago Cubs are moving on to the National League Championship Series.
So that was last year. Undoubtedly two of the best in the big leagues in 2015. And so far, same story in 2016. The top two run-scoring teams thus far. Top two in run differential. They both got power. They both have patience. It's the Cubs and the Cardinals here from St. Louis. Hi, everybody. Dave Fleming along with Eduardo Perez and Kurt Schilling. Really a lot of excitement around a Monday, April game between these two ancient rivals. And part of it is that carryover from last October where we saw all the offense from the Cubs. This young Cubs offense is very exciting.
They are. They're very exciting. They're going to be around together for a long time. And being around the cage with them, they really felt comfortable. But look at the additions that they ended up doing in the offseason. A lot of money spent on Jason Hayward and Ben Zobrist, obviously also John Lackey. But talking offense, these guys will stabilize that offense, give a lot of experience. But most importantly, this man that just got introduced right now and got booed vigorously here in St. Louis, Jason Hayward can play some serious defense. 80 runs saved last season playing right field, and that's where he belongs. This guy's really, really good, but he's going to have a pitcher today, and John Lackey, that has to be able to throw strikes.
Well, both these guys do. These are the top two run-scoring teams in baseball. So my focus will be early. Both of them fastball command. John Lackey, if you watch the Epstein and how he operates, when he's let to do his own thing, he doesn't generally go out and splurge. He finds the pieces of the puzzle that are missing, and he goes out and he targets specific people, much like David Ross. And there's this was one of them. This was one of the big ones, is get another arm in that rotation. Not just another arm, but an arm that can give us 200 innings and has October experience.
And Mike Leake, on the other hand, in a lot of ways, Kurt, he's a guy they signed to replace John Lackey in their rotation.
That's exactly what they did. They signed Mike Leake to take John Lackey's spot, and they're going to show up tonight.
So a lot of emotion here in St. Louis for this one. Cubs and the Cardinals. Monday Night Baseball on ESPN is presented by USAA. Insurance, banking, and investments tailored for the military community. And in part by Courtyard, the official hotel of the NFL.
Every auto insurance policy has a number. But not every insurance company understands the life behind it. Those who have served our nation have earned the very best service in return. USAA. We know what it means to serve. Get an auto insurance quote and see why 92% of our members plan to stay for life. A heart attack doesn't care if you run every day or if you're young or old. No matter who you are, a heart attack can happen without warning. If you've had a heart attack, a Bayer aspirin regimen can help prevent another one. Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen. Bayer aspirin.
No one's the same without the game of football, like Jimmy B, who writes, as a 42-year-old who dominates video game football, what are the odds I could be drafted in the NFL? Look, Jimmy, I think we're looking at a 0.0% chance.
Some people know how to make an entrance. To thrive under pressure. To reject the status quo. And they have no problem passing the competition. The aggressive new 2016 Lexus GS 350 and 200 Turbo. Once driven, there's no going back.
Watch me now, 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 watch me now.
Get ready to play. The LG G5 with modular design. The first phone built for fun.
You know that feeling you get when you save money on parts without having to jump through any hoops, track points, or make a bunch of extra trips to the store? Yeah, that's the one. Introducing Speed Perks from Advance Auto Parts, a rewards program for guys who love getting under the hood. No cards, no points, no nonsense.
Get your patio and outdoor space ready for springtime grilling and save at Sam's Club. Grill to perfection with the Members Mark 5-burner gas grill with side burner, a great value at $2.99. Tempt taste buds with delicious pork back ribs, $2.98 per pound. Great on the grill, boneless, skinless chicken breast, just $1.88 per pound. And entertain in style with melamine dinnerware, $29.98 for the 16-piece set. At Sam's Club, the spring savings are in full bloom. Sam's Club, life is better in the club.
Back in our Baseball Tonight studios with Dallas Braden, Doug Lanville, Tim Kirkshin. I'm Carl Ravitch. Want to get everybody caught up on what happened today. Before we get to the first pitch of the Cubs and the Cardinals, promise you will not miss a thing. Red Sox bullpen blew this one. They had a lead and gave it all up. Uehara really struggled. Kimbrel gave up the hit. And then David Ortiz comes up with a chance late, and he gets caught looking to end the game.
Right, and this has never happened in his Red Sox career, that he's taken a called third strike in a walk-off situation quite like that, 2 outs.
Early season, the Blue Jays and Red Sox each 500. Blue Jays 7 up, 7 down. The Red Sox 6 and 6. Mets and the Phillies. And David Wright, Yardo.
I believe that's his first RBI of the year.
And first home run of the year.
Well, the Phillies rotation, a lot of young pitchers, but they have performed exceptionally well.
Boy, Odubel Herrera, I mean, that had a hurt. That's 99 on his fingertips, and he loops it into left. Syndergaard's got 4 strikeouts. They're already in the 4th inning. The game started like 7 minutes ago, but it's a pitching nightmare for the hitters. Marlins getting some runs. Marcell Ozuna here against the Nats. And this is a Jose Fernandez start, so you don't want to ever fall behind when that guy's doing that.
What was that?
Rude. That was rude.
Just complete rude. So you get Syndergaard pitching, you get Fernandez pitching, 2 of the best. And tonight, we're going to see 2 guys that are linchpins for their teams, Leake and Lackey.
Yeah, and I love the matchup, even when you think about the top guns now, all these young pitchers throwing high 90s, even coming back from Tommy John if necessary. And now you flip it over to the Cardinals, Cubs, and now you got the seasoned veterans.
Yeah, you got Leake going against Lackey. Hey, I just left your neighborhood. I'm in the new one. See how it goes. It's going to be fun.
All right, we'll be here, give you updates of the games that are going on and soon to start. But now back to Busch, Cubs and the Cards.
All right, good stuff. That is our matchup tonight. We got lots of headliners across the big leagues, but maybe the headline matchup, these 2 old rivals meeting for the first time here in 2016. We're ready to get started. Let's look at the Cubs starting lineup.
You look at the lineup and you see a lot of veterans at the top of it. especially with Dexter Fowler, late sign, 102 runs, 17 home runs last season. A lot of questions, was he going to come back or not? Well, there he is, wearing that Cubs uniform. And then the leader of the team, Anthony Rizzo, in the cleanup spot, 31 home runs. Watch how he crowds the plate, very quick inside, trying to challenge pitchers to try to jam them.
Well, that's going to be the word tonight, challenge. Mike Leake is a sinker ball, ground ball contact pitcher who doesn't have an inordinate amount of ground balls. He gets a lot of contact, which that doesn't bode well with this lineup. If he's got to be down in the zone, he's got to establish, I think, fastball command to both sides of the plate down the zone this first inning to set up the second and third at bats tonight.
Well, you see the numbers are not real pretty so far. It's just 2 starts in his Cardinals career, but Mike Leake and the Cardinals on the field and ready to go on an overcast but warm and perfect night for baseball. Cubs Cardinals for the first time in 2016. The Cubs, who are 9-3, Cardinals 7-5. And here is the guy that Eduardo was just talking about, off to a great start. Dexter Fowler takes ball 1. Carlos Torres, a young umpire, calling balls and strikes tonight. And that sinker right at the bottom of the zone. If he pitches there, Kurt, you figure he's got a chance to have success.
Well, against the lefties, he's got to pitch there, but he's got to be off to the sides, because that ball down and in, down middle is absolutely right up their left-handed alley.
Mike Matheny, who has been to the playoffs every year as Cardinals manager. Fowler hits that one hard into left center field, and right away here come the Cubs. It's an extra base hit, a leadoff double for Dexter Fowler.
Well, no mistake why the Cubs did not want to let go of Dexter Fowler, and he also didn't want to let go of Chicago. He feels very comfortable here. Same hitting coach now for the 3rd year in a row.
Now listen to the reaction. Jason Hayward tipped his helmet as he walked to home plate, and I'm sure he's got a little smile on his face. You don't hear that very often in this town.
You hear that very rarely ever in this town. These are great baseball fans.
And there's a reason why. He had a good year, a very good year for the Cardinals last season. And ordinarily he would be welcomed back. His first at bat against his old team. Leake misses with the sinker inside. But when he left, it was the comments when he signed with the Cubs, I think, that has everybody around here still a little riled up. He's off to a slow start offensively. Takes ball 2 down. This is what we're talking about. He had a big media conference before the game, talking to all kinds of reporters in the dugout. For me, a winning attitude culture, the fact that this was such a young group that I could grow with and be 26 years old. I would rather grow up with a bunch of guys and make them family, be able to cherish that without feeling like I had to restart. And the follow-up was, he also talked about how the Cardinals core, he felt, was old and that maybe past their prime. And I think that's what Mike Matheny and Cardinals fans took a little personally.
Not only old, but it's not, I don't think, as much old as it was that their contracts were going to come up. And he didn't think that the Cardinals were going to ante up on the contract as they're getting older in the way they've done it traditionally. He wanted to go to a younger organization that had a plan for a long time, and he felt Chicago was the place.
2-1, he pulls that one foul.
Listen, as the author of a lifetime full of stupid quotes, I can tell you that what he probably meant and what he said are two different. I know he loved playing here. You can't not love playing here.
Acceptance is very important, Kurt.
Right,
that
I know,
awesome.
I get it.
That was
My
awesome.
wife tells me all the time. I'm all right with that.
We brought in the ultimate expert for this issue tonight.
Yes, the king of stupid quotes.
Well, Mike Matheny was not happy. I mean, he loved having Jason Hayward on his team. Big reason why the Cardinals won 100 games last year. Oh, strike 3 called.
You know, and as a hitter, you're looking in because he was being pounded in by Leake, and all of a sudden he goes back door. He's committing to looking in one area, and that looks miles away until he hears where the ball landed, and he looks back. Right now, he's looking in. He's cheating in, pitch away, no chance.
Perfect pitch from Leake. And you saw the reaction from a lot of fans as he headed back to the dugout. I mean, they're taking this personally. Here is Ben Zobrist, another one of the new Cubs. Well, Hayward has done a lot in the last few days leading up to this game to try to soften those comments. Look, I loved it here. In fact, we with the Cubs, we have a lot we can learn from the Cardinals. They've got the winning tradition. So, but apparently that message has kind of been too late.
Too late.
Too late.
Well, and sports fans like to hear what they want to hear, just to give them a reason.
And to get the Cardinal fans to boo?
It's hard, man.
Zobrist to first, scooped up by Moss. 2 down. Now, if that had come with nobody out, that would have been a more important play. Fowler at third, though, but 2 down. And here's Anthony Rizzo.
And watch how he crowds the plate, something that Eric Hensky, the assistant hitting coach for the Cubs, had told him a couple years ago. Just crowd the plate. You're quick enough. You keep the ball fair. And pitchers have a tough time burying it in there. Gets hit a lot, too.
He does. Sometimes you worry about him staying healthy. He gets hit so much. Mike Leake got a friendly call there from Carlos Torres. Strike one.
That ball ran. Good run. But the thing that gets me is the Cubs coming in 9-3, and this guy hasn't. He's hitting 186. He hasn't found it, and there's still. You got to beat him when he's not swinging.
1 ball, 1 strike the count. I mean, Hayward's off to a slow start. Rizzo's off to a slow start. Chris Bryant hasn't exploded yet, and they're 9-3.
But that's how good this offense is.
And the pitching.
Yeah.
The pitching has been really good.
I like that you went to offense there, Cole. Really do.
Oh, we got to talk about it.
And I went to pitching. What's going on here?
And Joe Madden very happy with the first couple weeks for his Cubs team and embracing all the expectations. Only team that scored more per game than the Cubs, the Cardinals. 1-2, and that hit him. Just what we were talking about. Went with the breaking ball down and in, and it got him.
Well, and that's the problem as a pitcher. Trying to pitch inside, you have to understand there are guys that won't give ground. Most guys will, but there are guys that won't. You have to know who they are, and you have to pitch accordingly. See, for guys like this, if I'm going to come in, I'm going to come up at the letters and get them to move their feet. And if they go down, they go down. But I need them to know when I come inside, it's not going to be just below your waist.
Well, Rizzo didn't flinch. Right off the top of his back foot.
That would have hurt my bunions right there.
Well, Eric Hensky told him to do that because he's like 7 feet thick. And he never felt it when he got hit.
Here is the Rookie of the Year from last year, Chris Bryant. 2 on, 2 out. Good chance for the Cubs right away. And he takes ball 1. That sinker runs outside. Modest numbers so far.
Modest, can't say the least. 229, but don't look so much at the average as the reputation that this young man has already had in this league.
It's that one well, but not quite well enough to right field. Piscotty is there, and Mike Leake works around the leadoff double and the jam in the top of the first. So the new Cardinal, a scoreless top of the first, and the old Cardinal will be on the mound here in his old home ballpark when we come back.
Spend your buck on a burrito from a burger place, or spend it on a burrito from a burrito place. Burger place or burrito place. Burger, or try one of 10 items like our grilled breakfast burrito, Taco Bell's new $1 morning value menu.
Hey.
Go ahead. Leave the competition behind with the aggressive new 2016 Lexus GS 350 and 200 Turbo. Once driven, there's no going back.
Weeds. Nature's boomerang. At Roundup, we know they keep coming back. You never invited this stubborn little rascal to your patio, so draw the line. One spray of Roundup Max Control 365 kills to the root and keeps weeds away for up to 12 months. Because patios should be for cooking out and kicking back. Roundup Max Control 365. Draw the line. Prevent weeds from coming back for up to 1 year.
Steph has the MVP lock.
That's the thing about Steph Curry. I mean, good. He's not his daddy. See, Steph shot. He just.
Steph Curry's got the quickest release.
Boy's good. Steph Curry, man.
Say, you can't hate on Steph Curry, man.
Well, one, you got to finish your name. Steph ain't a whole name.
There are plenty of Cubs fans here on the road at Busch Stadium in St. Louis for Monday Night Baseball. Cubs scoreless in the top of the first, and now the Cardinals come up. Let's take a look at their lineup tonight.
Let's take a look at it from top to bottom. You have Matt Carpenter, which has been such a leader in this lineup, but there's a surprise to the lineup. Two young guys, Jeremy Hazelbaker and Aledmis Diaz. Look for their names. If you don't know how to spell them, I'll quiz you later because they're good. They've been on offensive prowl the entire young season.
So that's the lineup.
I'm going with AD for that one, whatever that one is. Yeah, I mean, John Lackey, this is, again, Theo went out and put a piece in the rotation that they felt was missing, and that is a guy that can give them 30-some starts, 200-some innings. And I've never heard anyone say anything but great things about this guy as a teammate. They said he's one of the greatest teammates in the world, and that adds to the mix. This is a special group of guys.
They already had their ace. They already had a couple of aces in their mind in Jake Arrieta and John Lester. So Lackey signed to fill out that starting rotation. Matt Carpenter, one of the better hitters in the National League, leading off for St. Louis against his old teammate and quickly down 0-2. There's Jake Arrieta.
I had the chance to sit and watch him throw a bullpen today, and wow, that was something else.
What a role he's on.
I watched him throw about 55 pitches, and when I say miss, the catcher moved his glove more than 2 inches twice. And you could, and 90% of it was fastballs, in and out, up and down.
Carpenter to shallow left, kind of no man's land into foul ground, and a long run for the shortstop who can't quite catch it. Addison Russell, good effort. He got his glove on it, couldn't squeeze it.
That's a great effort right there, and you're running. You take a peek at where you're at, but right there he knew that he was close enough, did not feel the turf yet, took the slide. You see how that glove right there gets in the way actually of the ball when he's trying to catch it. It's off the heel. Nice view right there. Oh, Cubby fan? Absolutely.
Second chance for a very good hitter. So let's see if Carpenter can take advantage of it. Man, Montero, right, is nobody ever, the umpire never actually called time.
John, yeah, I've had that happen. You get the sign and you start, okay, I got it, I'm going, and the catcher's like, wait, I didn't mean to give you that one. And so he wants to make sure he knows what's coming.
Well, Miguel Montero's been around a long time, but he and John Lackey are getting to know each other, new teammates. 2-2, went with that breaking ball and bounced it.
I have to go back to the Arrieta. You were talking about him. I was actually sitting in the stands watching you, and you were like a little kid.
Well, that was my second favorite day at the park, was my bullpen day, and watching guys. I like to watch great people work at their craft, and it was just, again, he's a guy who understands his fastball, 6 different pitches.
Inside ball 4. So Addison Russell, it was not an easy play, but you saw the disappointment from Cubs fans, and that was the second chance for Carpenter. He draws the walk.
He thought he got that comeback around the inside.
That's a great call. Also, if you look where he is behind the plate, you look at Carlos Torres, he's right above on that line. It's not like he's guessing, he's seeing it. He has a good look. Had good angle, but I thought it was a correct call.
Well, that two-seam movement that starts off the plate inside, comes back to the corner. That one right in on the hands of Hazelbaker. They'll get the out at second. Only the one. But a good pitch from Lackey.
And that's actually the pitch that was called the ball on Carpenter.
Yep.
Hazelbaker aggressive, swinging out of the zone, and that's what would have happened.
You get young lefties a lot of times looking for a ball middle in to drive that first pitch. Veteran pitcher goes in there, gives him something he thinks he's looking for, and ends up being nothing like what he's looking for.
Now, I think when Jeremy gets a little more major league experience, I mean, he's been a great story this year for the Cardinals, right? Jeremy Hazelbaker. He'll learn it's a national TV game. You got to take a pitch or two and let the guys tell your story. We were going to pump him up. Now we got to move on.
We have to move on. See you next at bat.
I have a feeling he's going to be on a few times.
But he is a great story. Cardinals seem to do that every year. Find somebody that nobody's expecting. So far this season, he's kind of been the guy. Matt Holliday, who's been one of the guys for a long time now, takes strike one, a 94-mile-an-hour fastball from Lackey.
I like what he's doing, attacking quickly. All three hitters, strikes.
It's an approach you have to have. It's not about just throwing strikes here. It's about throwing legitimate quality strikes. And you have to do that early in the count to force them out of their comfort zone.
Hazelbaker does have some speed, and you see Lackey holding.
And a lot of times you'll set up he saw him setting up off the plate away. You'll do that on a hold because you want the hitter to look back and see him on the outside part of the plate and think away. And now you go off with a ball, a slider.
Kind of hung that one up, but Holliday fouls it off.
Matt Holliday's a swing waiting to happen. He's always been a guy. He's a hitter, honestly. There are guys, when you face them, that no matter what the count is, you're never down in the count. Because they want to swing. And he's always been one of those guys.
Well, one thing with the Cubs scouting report that they know is that Jeremy at first base is a very good base stealer.
Now they'll come in. See Montero with the target. Holliday got jammed, but kind of punches one into right center field. Here comes Hayward. And Cardinals fans are unhappy again.
They're unhappy. And a lot of Cub fans that are here are very happy, and that's something that the Cardinal fans last season saw a lot of. One of the biggest reasons this play happens is because of his jump. Watch how quick he reacts to it on contact. Doesn't hesitate, comes in, slides, and then makes sure that that ball will not get by him. Two-hands it into his mitt. Beautifully done. 80 run saves last season.
Yeah, I think that's 80 runs over the last 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
Since 2011.
Right.
Three-time Gold Glove award winner.
2011 was last year.
We're a team.
Yeah.
Well, it's a big reason why the Cubs signed him. There aren't that many examples, I don't think. Moss, who's got big power, takes the fastball high. Montero wants Hazelbaker to know he's paying attention to him at first base. Not that many defensive right field. Usually think of, okay, a game changer, impact defensive player in the outfield, center field.
Well, it depends on where you play. In Boston, game-changing right fielders are a mutt. Dwight Evans and those guys that play out right. But this is he's playing a very weird right field in Wrigley. It's very different, and there's a lot of ground out there. But I mean the thing, I don't understand outfield play as deep as other guys, but he's at top speed in one step. He gets a great jump, but he doesn't accelerate up. He's literally at top speed when he takes that first step and makes it look almost routine.
1-1 to Moss. Fouled out of play. Strike two.
And this is a guy who I had a chance to be a teammate of his when he was a rookie. Tremendous teammate. Very big time power. You wouldn't think of it from a guy his stature, but he can hit the ball a long ways.
Well, last year he struggled a bit with his power because he had hip surgery 2 years ago. This year, the pop is back.
Yeah, he is a threat right now. There goes the runner. Another foul ball.
In fact, I think when I played him, he couldn't grow facial hair.
So it's been a while.
Yeah. He tried. He couldn't. Now, clearly, he's got the Matt Holliday look.
Sellout crowd here at Busch Stadium tonight for Cubs Cardinals part 1 of 19 in 2016. Moss chased that changeup down and away. Beautiful pitch from Lackey, and that is his first strikeout of the game. So runners stranded, no score through 1 in St. Louis.
You're the guy who beat up my dad.
Hey, deep breath. Sucker punched your dad. I want you to find Amelia. Run! Something funny's going on.
March! Go! You're the world's worst detectives.
The world's worst. Rated R.
Weeds. Nature's boomerang. At Roundup, we know they keep coming back. You never invited this stubborn little rascal to your patio, so draw the line. One spray of Roundup Max Control 365 kills to the root and keeps weeds away for up to 12 months. Because patios should be for cooking out and kicking back. Roundup Max Control 365. Draw the line. Prevent weeds from coming back for up to 1 year.
This is Chris Bryant, and this is Anthony Rizzo. As the muscle of the Chicago Cubs lineup, they've decided to go into business. The souvenir business.
Brizzo Souvenir Company, please hold. We founded Brizzo Souvenir Company to get you the home run balls you deserve. Help me help you get some baseballs.
It's a good deal, Joe.
Yeah, have you seen us play? We authenticate them with our bats. 9-ounce balls. Take it or leave it. Deal. Woo! Another one. We put the ding in dinger.
All right, so I think most people know it's been a while for the Cubs. 1908, that's the team picture. The last time they won the World Series. The last time they even played in the World Series, 1945, and it's part of why the expectations are so high. They were 4 wins away from the World Series last year. The free agent additions, the young core, all of that making them perhaps the consensus pick from the National League to make it to the World Series. And one thing that's been interesting, guys, Joe Madden, their manager, has totally embraced those expectations.
Well, you don't run from them. You can't. The media is what it is. You got to deal with it. And look what he did in Tampa. Look what he's done here. I think they did it a year earlier than anybody thought last year. But he's got a situation now that you envy as a manager because his players care about him, and they care about what he thinks.
I just like the way he simplifies the game, which is very difficult to play. He allows them he distracts them with fun stuff. If it's animals,
it's about the only
whatever.
thing he does simplify is the game for his players. His conversation with Joe is eclectic, different. He's such a great guy, smart. I've known him since I was 16 years old when he was with the Angels, and he has really changed a bit.
My first hitting coach in professional baseball was that man right there, Joe Madden. I get into Boise, Idaho, and there he was with this tee. That was like a blower was on the bottom. It was spinning the ball. It was not off. He loved all this new age stuff. He's like, this is the next thing. I haven't seen that apparatus ever again.
Right.
But
that's ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to Miguel Montero.
Love to talk hitting.
Well, and the folks out in Las Vegas, they agree with those expectations. They think the Cubs, the odds-on favorite, not just to get there, but to win the World Series. You guys think they're the favorite?
Absolutely. I think that the Nationals are a little bit better.
Undervalued, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Those odds may be changing as we speak. Nationals off to a great start. Here's Jorge Soler, his first at bat of the game, and he swings away and lines one to center. Hazelbaker, though, right there for out number 1.
Well, just like Hazelbaker, Soler did not allow us to talk about him. Quickly swinging at that first pitch and barreling it up. Saw his batting practice today, and he was hitting it in over Big Mac land with ease.
He is so strong.
And he's the guy. Kyle Schwarber is hurt. He's going to miss the year. Huge loss. They're leaning on him to fill that void.
And I think that's why those 9-2 odds might change a little bit without Schwarber. I think Schwarber offensively really gave them that edge.
Here's young Addison Russell coming into his own. Taking ball 1. The sinker misses outside for Mike Leake. So talented, still so young. Made the switch. It's a natural shortstop. Last year started as a young big leaguer, mostly playing second. Around August, they moved him to shortstop, and they became a better team when they did it. Swings away. It's a comebacker. Leake. There's 1. That's 2. One of the best fielding pitchers in the game, Mike Leake, starts the double play. No score, middle of the second.
I've been on my feet all day. I'm bushed.
Yeah, me too.
Excuse me, coming through.
Ride the gel wave of comfort with Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles. They're proven to give you comfort, which helps you feel more energized all day long.
I want heat.
I could get used to this.
Now you can with the luxuriously transformed 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid.
Some said Wendy's 4 for $4 was the biggest thing since.
And now for tonight's biggest news.
The 4 for $4 now comes with your choice of a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger or the new Crispy Chicken BLT. It's the biggest thing until...
You killed my boy. God give it. God take it away. I ain't afraid to die anymore. I done it already.
The Revenant. Own it on Blu-ray tomorrow.
Big League Baseball this week on ESPN. Wednesday Night Baseball presented by Hankook Tire. Two teams off to a really good start. The defending champ Royals and the Tigers in Kansas City. And then Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. Red Sox playing well. They blew the lead today. Astros trying to get their season jump started from Minute Maid Park on Sunday Night Baseball, 8 Eastern on ESPN.
I'll be there Wednesday.
In Kansas City, where the Royals, there's been no hangover so far. They look very strong. Just across this great baseball state. First pitch from Lackey here in the bottom of the second to Stephen Piscotty. Looks like a budding star for the Cardinals. He was tremendous in the playoff series. He was the bright spot for St. Louis, losing to the Cubs in the division series last October.
He was offensively. They have really good outfielders. Piscotty, Grichuk. Now with Hazel Baker also here signing as a free agent mid-season last year.
On the ground to third, Chris Bryant throws out Piscotty. Update in the studio with Carl Ravitch.
Hi, Dave, here with Doug Glanville. A little sloppy. The White Sox, who've been pretty solid so far this year. Carlos Rodon on the mound. The ball gets into the outfield. And Abreu's going to throw this thing backhanded away.
Well, lesson here, if you're not Steph Curry in the NBA, no-look passes do not work in baseball, people.
I love Dougie with the NBA reference there, David. A Bay Area guy.
Yeah, we like that, too. And speaking of, we were in the office with the Cubs manager, Joe Madden, before the game today. He had his Warriors socks hanging up in his locker. He's on board with Curry and the Warriors. The Splash Brothers socks.
Well, anything that's hot and in, I guarantee you Joe Madden is also on board.
He likes to stay current. Yeah, he was current and then some for the Cardinals. Yadier Molina, he has been the bedrock of this franchise for a long time.
Interesting to watch. The first three pitches, all fastballs away right here. Basically, I think they're convinced that he doesn't hit the ball hard on the outer half of the plate. And he's going to probably go slider.
0-2. He goes slider and he gets him to chase.
See that swing right there? That didn't look comfortable at all.
Well, he was late on the fastball. And he was trying to play catch up and he didn't get a fastball. This to me is what velocity does more than anything. It allows you to expand the corners of the plate. First pitch fastball away. First pitch fastball away. He's late on both of them. Late on that one. No reason to throw him a strike. He's trying to cheat to get ahead. He's clearly not comfortable at the plate right now either.
You see those swings. He can't let go of the top hand at all.
Well, Bryce Harper's at the plate, so we're going to check in with Carl back in the studio and watch a little Bryce Harper.
Hi, Dave. We promise we won't miss anything with the Cubs and the Cardinals either. Jose Fernandez and Bryce Harper, third at bat. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Homered in 4 straight games, and his numbers against Fernandez, including tonight. He's got 5 strikeouts. He's got 3 hits and now 14 at bats. And Doug, this one's going to stay in the park. So 0 for 2 with a walk, but this one should bring in a run. And it's now 4-1 in favor of Miami. We'll keep you guys posted. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Carl. Colton Wong takes a high strike from Lackey. It's 3-1. Look, there are lots of storylines here in 2016 already. These two teams are part of that. Maybe none bigger than the MVP from last year. Is he even better in 2016, Bryce Harper?
I believe he's going to be better. One of the biggest reasons I think Dusty Baker has made a positive impact on all those guys. And just watching the confidence that he has, he's really stepping up to the plate. He knows he's the face, he's embracing it, and he's used to it. He's been the face of baseball since he's been 14 years old, on the cover of many major magazines, and he understands that he is really good, that he's gifted, and he's going out there and he's proven it. I mean, 6 home runs so far this season, averaging 404 feet.
3-2. That's right there on the corner. That two-seam movement coming back into the strike zone from Lackey. So Wong strikes out looking. Guess who's coming up? We'll hear some boos again, I think, when we come back.
Trout, McCutchen, LeMahieu, Altuve, Kershaw, Cabrera, and so many more. Fathead for real.
Just press clean and let Roomba help with your everyday messes. A full suite of sensors automatically guides Roomba throughout your home, cleaning under furniture, along edges, and in corners. And with its powerful 3-stage cleaning system, Roomba picks up pet hair, dust, and debris for up to 2 hours, recharging itself when it needs to, which means your floors are always clean. You and Roomba from iRobot. Better together.
How fast is it?
Plenty fast. It's not how fast you mow, it's how well you mow fast.
It's not how fast you mow, it's how well you mow fast.
It's not how fast you mow, it's how well you mow fast.
It's how well you mow fast.
So well you mow fast.
Even if it doesn't catch on, doesn't mean it's not true. The John Deere Z-Track Z535M with our re-engineered deck to mow faster, better. To find out more about the Excel Deep Mower Deck, go to johndeere.com/mowwellfast.
Go, go, go! Start my car.
You talk, it starts. Remote start on the 2017 Hyundai Elantra. Not just new, better.
Did he just start that car? I just wanted to hug him. I was gonna eat him.
Thought you were vegan.
That's my cheat day, so I'll just eat around it.
Monday Night Baseball on ESPN, presented by USAA, is brought to you by Hyundai and John Deere. Nothing runs like a deer. Kind of a cool look at some of the Cubs stars from a long time ago.
I don't know. Cool look depends on the perspective, I think.
Just
those are awesome.
Those dreams started to form. One day, I'll be a big leaguer.
And those will be in the clubhouse, posted everywhere.
John Lackey will lead off against Mike Leake. Top of the third, no score. Cubs Cardinals. Leake is hitting his spots. Beautiful pitch, strike 3.
He's sharp right now. Ever since that first hitter, it doesn't matter to him. He's hitting his spots, and it is really difficult. You don't need velocity when you can really paint like that as a hitter. It's actually really uncomfortable knowing that he can control both sides of the plate when you're trying to pick one to be consistent.
To Leake, who likes to work quickly, ready to go as Fowler comes up. Fowler doubled against him to start the game.
Well, two things. You won't ever see a really good pitcher in the big leagues that doesn't work, has tempo as one of his weapons. And the other thing is, this is a lineup that a lot of young pitchers will have trouble navigating, mainly because from the first pitch of the game, you have to be very good to perfect. And a lot of guys don't like that pressure of, I can't make a mistake. And other guys accept it and excel under it. And they've both been throwing the ball from first pitch tonight. recognizing how good these teams are.
Right there at the bottom of the zone, strike 3. Fowler on 3 pitches, goodbye.
You know, it's interesting right now, the Cubs are always looking back, wondering if young Carlos Torres behind the plate is doing it.
And Yadier's nurturing that relationship.
A relationship gone sour. Oof. Yeah, they're making their feelings very well known tonight. There was some question, okay, what was the reception going to be? A town that almost always embraces even their former. 2 things, though. You sign with your rival, and then you say the things that he did say when he signed with the Cubs. And there's some bad feelings. Strike 2. Leake is just pounding the strike zone.
Well, oh, wait. One more pitch.
Every pitch here in the 3rd has been a strike.
That one more pitch might be the end of the inning, too.
Yep. Could be. Hayward. It is. With the shift on, they throw him out.
Thought he was going to strike out the side on 9 pitches.
That doesn't happen very often. He'll take it, though. Well, we're talking pitching and painting. How about Kurt with David Ross? Shill's Study Hall when we come back to St. Louis.
Hey, we're opening up a second shop and we need some new signage.
But can't spend a lot. Well, we have low prices and a price match guarantee.
Scout's honor.
Low prices.
Pinky swear.
Low prices.
Eskimo kisses.
How about a handshake? Oh, all right.
The lowest price every time. Staples, make more happen.
We're back, and she's found herself in the broker's office reviewing quarterly returns. How's she doing, Rich?
She's got it all under control. Wait, that's it? But Bob, she hasn't asked about those fees.
Oh, you know, one last thing. How do your fees work?
Oh, what a recovery. This one's not over, folks. She's back in the driver's seat.
Are you asking enough questions about the way your wealth is managed? Wealth Management at Charles Schwab.
You could spend your dollar on this, or you can spend it on this, or this, or any of these 10 delicious items on Taco Bell's new $1 Morning Value menu. It's not even fair.
It's more than a network and the cloud. It's reliable uptime and multi-layered security. It's how you stay connected to each other and to your customers. With CenturyLink, you get advanced technology solutions, including an industry-leading broadband network and cloud and hosting services, all with dedicated, responsive support. With CenturyLink as your trusted technology partner, you're free to focus on growing your business. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
No score, bottom of the 3rd here in St. Louis. All right, time for Shill's Study Hall before the game. Kurt and the veteran catcher for the Cubs, David Ross. And David talked about what he thinks it takes to be a great pitcher.
If you want to be a great pitcher in the major leagues, you're talking about taking about the size of a big cup, right? The big gulp size. And I want you to hit this, you know, right. 8 out of 10 times consistently, and I'm going to ask you to move it here. I'm going to ask you to move it here, move it around the plate, and then take it, change speeds, and do the same thing.
What I used to do is tell young pitchers, if you throw the ball 85, that's your outside corner. Now, as you go up to 90, that's it. When you get to 95, that can be, because hitters have to.
You're right. You have to be as right.
Same thing.
That's why velocity is so important in our game. You know? You can get away with more velocity, and you're going to get more.
Velocity makes an average breaking ball really good.
Really good.
And we have more from that conversation. It was pretty fascinating.
We had so much fun. I mean, we talked baseball. It was. I mean, and that's what I love about these guys is. I'm not interviewing them. I'm talking about the things I talked about with my catchers. With we talked about umpires and relationships, and and David is a future big league manager and a leader in every sense of the word. He was one of the big gets for Theo. I mean, that was a conscious effort to bring him in here. And then, now Anthony Rizzo is stepping up to be that guy, but he is a clubhouse presence, and he's a phenomenal human being.
Oh, it was a great conversation.
It was fun.
Aledmys Diaz, the new shortstop for the Cardinals, on the ground. Not an easy play for Chris Bryant. He throws him out. kind of what you guys were talking about, Mike Leake, that last inning.
Well, this is exactly what he was talking about. In the big leagues, control is the ability to throw strikes. Everybody can throw strikes. Command is the ability to manipulate the ball around the strike zone in increments of 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. These misses are misses by inches, and when he misses good. To the side of the plate he's working on, he's feeling it.
He also is a very good hitting pitcher. He can swing the bat, and he hits that one well to center field. Fowler, though, 2 down.
That would have been a really good call right there, Flem. Absolutely. He stays level throughout. This kid went to Arizona State, really loves to hit. Works on that craft, and to him, he's such a really good athlete, and you don't see really good athletes, Kurt, on that mound.
That's where the best athletes in the game actually reside. As you saw by the double play, the swing, he can do it all. He is a really, really good athlete. And he clearly thinks of himself as an athlete because he's number 8. Yeah. Pitchers don't wear number 8. That's like quarterbacks being 74.
Here's Matt Carpenter. 2 down, nobody on. And John Lackey, man, he's putting the ball where he wants it to be.
But that's what the big leagues is. And if you talk about throwing strikes, command up through the minor leagues, it's about throwing quality strikes, better strikes. The higher up you get up here, you can't miss.
Kind of stole strike 2 with the curveball.
But fastball command, like they both have, allows you to get. That was a mistake. You let that ball up. But he's been working the corner so much.
Carpenter chases in the dirt. The changeup got him. They'll throw the first to complete the putout. And that's it for the Cardinals in the third. The big hitters are coming up for the Cubs. Zobrist, Rizzo, and Chris Bryant when we come back to Busch Stadium. Cubs and the Cardinals. No score.
Every insurance policy has a number. But not every insurance company understands the life behind it. For those who've served and the families who've supported them, we offer our best service in return. USAA, we know what it means to serve. Get an insurance quote and see why 92% of our members plan to stay for life.
Technology is a living thing. It listens to us.
How may I help you?
It shows us the way. It expands our minds and gives us vision where once we had none. This is how civilization moves forward. This
is how we get coffee.
The 2016 Corolla. Technology on a whole other level.
Get 0.9% APR financing for 72 months on a 2016 Corolla. Offer ends May 2nd. For great deals on other Toyotas, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
If you build it, your buddies will come. One of them will pull a hamstring. Scott's, the official sponsor of Major League Baseball and guys who wish they could play Major League Baseball. It's good out here.
Welcome back to MLB Tonight as we take you live inside the park to watch Marcus Stroman on the mound. You love this guy.
Oh, Greg, I do. He's only 5'8", but he throws in the mid-90s. What's not to like? He's tremendous.
He's got an electric arm. When you look at the stats from last season, you can expect him to have a great career.
Come on, guys. Try and pitch a game here. Can you clear this stuff?
Oh, sorry about that, Marcus. Hey, guys, can we clear up the graphics so he can pitch?
MLB Tonight brings you closer to the game. Maybe a little too close.
Come on, guys. You forgot this one.
Welcome back to Monday Night Baseball on ESPN, presented by USAA. On this beautiful night in St. Louis, that is not at the top of the Gateway Arch, although that is a live shot up there on one of those rooftop terraces. Not a bad spot. You got to watch us to supplement your viewing of the game. Look at that up there.
That's way up there.
Be a cool place to hang. Big hitters coming up for the Cubs here. Zobrist, Rizzo, Bryant, 3-4-5, second time through against the sinker baller Mike Leake, who has got it going on tonight.
And Zobrist has struggled as of late. 0 for his last 22.
Chase that one. Strike 2.
And offensively, the team, the Cubs, have been struggling. And John Maley, their hitting coach, this morning at 10:15 in the morning, he was at the ballpark already looking at video, trying to figure out what's going on. You know, those are ruts that teams go through. Fortunately for them, they've had the pitching to help them out.
Zobrist hit a foul off his leg. Another good curveball from Leake. And maybe this second time through starting to mix and match some of that off-speed stuff with the sinker a little more frequently. Well, Joe Madden said not even considering moving the lineup around. He has confidence in his guys. It helps when you're 9-3, so you're struggling, but you're winning games.
You're 9-3, and he's 0 for his last 20-something. Rizzo's hitting 9-3, and they're struggling.
Scary.
Pitching is picking it up, and then pitching goes in a little bit of a funk. Their offense will take care of it.
Strike 3 called. Well, K-Zone has that as a strike. Mike Leakey's going up, down, in, out, and a quick check in the studio with Carl.
All right, we're getting up and down, and then sometimes you miss, and Giancarlo Stanton does this. Really.
I mean, it's like he slices the ball. Look at how that ball's cutting and slicing away, and it still has the distance to go over the fence.
Eddie, much to the delight of Barry Bonds.
You think Barry's happy about that one?
He's a little bit happier, and I even texted with Giancarlo today. And
oh, really? Are you taking credit for that home run swing?
Not at all. He actually knew it was a quick. He knew it was a quick fix. He even said it right here, and looking at the text.
All right, I'm looking. I'm going to verify this.
Says I'm not having fun because the team isn't winning, but it's not about me hitting. It's about the team winning. It's a small fix. I'll be back. He said I'll be back today.
That's legit,
and he can say that. I'll be back.
He's back.
He's back. Yeah. He's been struggling, starting off late a little bit.
And playing a hot team, playing a nice game, helps when you have your ace on the mound.
They got embarrassed this weekend with the Atlanta Braves.
The Braves hadn't won a game. They come into Miami and sweep them.
Marlins haven't even won a game at home yet. So
that park takes some getting used to, I think.
Finally a ball, by the way, and right back to throw. I think he's thrown 15 consecutive strikes. He threw ball 1, and the very next pitch, a sinker gets Bryant. So the heart of the order is gone in order. No score, mid-4.
I just saved thousands on my loan at LendingTree.com.
In less than a minute, I found out how much home I can afford.
I like how you shop for loans the same way you shop for flights online.
I didn't realize at LendingTree, you can save money on almost any sort of loan.
I consolidated my credit card debt with a personal loan.
I found a new credit card with 0% interest for 15 months. You just shop, compare, and save. And it's all free.
Go to LendingTree right now and start saving.
Coming soon to DirecTV Cinema.
What happened? I'm going to kill a man and kill my son.
The Revenant is nominated for 12 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor Leonardo DiCaprio, Best Supporting Actor Tom Hardy.
God giveth, God taketh away.
The Revenant. Movies start at Channel 125.
Steph and the Warriors stack up with Jordan and the Bulls.
You know what? The greatest team to ever play the game was the Harlem Globetrotters.
The Harlem Globetrotters?
What about Fred Curly Neal, Sweet Lou Dunbar, Metal Rock Lemon? What about that Scott Van Pelt?
Take on the unexpected. The new 2016 Nissan Altima, built to stand out.
All right, no score here in St. Louis, bottom of the 4th. I want to hear more of that Schilling-Ross conversation. David Ross about being a leader for this Cubs team.
I've been around great leaders, and I've seen how they handle human beings and how you talk to people and how if I attack you, your first thing's going to be so there has to be a give and take there. I have to lift you up if I want to be able to have some criticism,
and
right?
I always felt ultimately you can only lead if people care about you.
Well,
and if people care about your opinion.
And that's what maybe is the more emotional part for me as the older I get, is these guys care about me, and so it makes me just feel that much more emotion about how much I love this team and how well they treat me and follow my leadership. And I'm not even trying. I'm trying to be me, and I'm trying to be honest and and make guys better. Because here's the thing: I've made a ton of mistakes in my career, and I'm trying to help others learn.
And you'll make more.
I'm gonna make.
I was just. You never stop making them. You just make them less as you get older. Right.
Words of wisdom from David Ross. And he's not lying when he says the team does look to him as a leader. Because when you talk to people in this clubhouse, you talk to his manager, just universally loved this guy.
He is easy to talk to. And
tough play, Bryant on the backhand. What a play to throw out Jeremy Hazelbaker.
David Ross, he's really easy to talk to if you're a player. You can look up to him, and then you see this backhand play, doesn't panic at all. Hazelbaker pretty fast down the line.
That was impressive right there.
He made a difficult play look very easy.
And I tell you what, sometimes that's been the question with him. The hitting has not been a question. Can he hang it third as a big leaguer?
But it was a question before anybody saw him in the big leagues. And I think it was a question because everybody's assuming, well, if he hits like this, he can't be that good of a fielder. And he is. He's a great athlete.
Yeah. The throwing has at times been an issue for Bryant. And just kind of a mechanical thing,
tall.
The accuracy on the throws.
Well, it's not only that. He's so tall that sometimes he had the tendency early on to come up after he made the play. This way now he's been working on making sure that.
Matt Holliday to right, and not this time for Hayward. Has to play it on a bounce. That is the first Cardinals hit of the game. And another update in studio with Carl.
Hi, Dave. All right, Show, this is for you. Noah Syndergaard on the mound. He's got 8 strikeouts. You can kind of watch the 7 we'll show you here. And he's 2 strikeouts shy of breaking Pedro Martinez's franchise record for strikeouts in his first 3 games. He needs a couple more to get 30. Pretty good.
30 tonight, or was it 30?
First 3 starts.
Wow.
Yeah. It only feels like 30 tonight.
For you older baseball fans, the only name that comes to mind is J.R. Richard. Big, tall, just pure power. Everything out of his hand is, that 92, 93 mile an hour slider. And the attitude. I like the attitude.
The old Astros star, J.R. Richard. Syndergaard is quickly becoming one of the best in the game. That's a swing, says the third base umpire, Rob Drake. It's 0-2 to Moss.
When you hear the term tempo from catchers about pitchers working fast, part of tempo is this. You force the hitters to up tempo because everything out of your hand is a strike. He's throwing balls when they're swinging and strikes when they're taking, and he's executing a game plan.
They do have the infield shift on for Moss. He takes low. Ball 1. This is how they're playing defense.
And you see where the shortstop is and the second baseman. Look where our man at third base, the third baseman Brian is. He's between the first baseman and the second baseman, just playing actually in the infield. He's not even playing in the outfield where you see a lot of teams go the route of short right.
He struck out Brandon Moss swinging.
I want to ask you, when you're at the plate and you see that kind of a shift, what does that tell you from a hitting perspective?
You're a one-dimensional hitter.
No, but what does that tell you from a pitch selection perspective?
Everything's coming in.
Right.
But now let me clarify this, and that's what I thought. And then when I was a bench coach with the Astros, you look at the charts. They gave you the pitching charts, and they wanted you to actually pitch to your strength because they said that the hitter was
going to pull
unable,
no matter what
was unable to hit the ball the other way.
Yep.
2 down for Piscotty with the runner at first after the first hit of the game for the Cardinals. Right at the top of the zone. This time called the ball.
And I know where you're coming from right there because I used to have the same argument until I saw the numbers. Pitches away, they actually were pulling more.
Yeah. Well, that's the only way you can really honestly shift that much is if you're going to guarantee a ball on the ground to be to that side.
Piscotty topped 1 foul.
I always looked at it from a pitcher's perspective. I always thought it kind of tipped the pitcher's hand.
Right. But think about this also. If you're that hitter, if you're that left-handed hitter in Moss, and you're